During an Oval Office meeting Tuesday with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, President Donald Trump slammed his predecessor Joe Biden for fist-bumping the Saudi prince in 2022 when the former president traveled to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. According to Associated Press speaking to reporters, Trump said when you get off of Air Force One in Saudi Arabia and are greeting the country's future king, you shake his hand. You don't get the fist bump. Trump doesn't give a fist bump. I grabbed that hand, I don't give a hell where that hand's been, I grabbed that hand, Trump said. A year later, in 2023, Biden shook hands with the Crown Prince when they appeared together at an international summit in New Delhi. Trump said he wouldn't ask bin Salman how he felt about the fist bump. Trump then went on to lash out at an ABC reporter and her network over a question about releasing the Epstein files. The president criticized the reporter's attitude and the way she asks questions and then said he thinks the license should be taken away from ABC. He then referred to Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr, who has been a staunch ally and launched investigations into several networks, saying, "We have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that." Carr also said to ABC before it took comic Jimmy Kimmel off the air following his comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination that, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." Asked also whether he has started the interview process for the next chairman of the Federal Reserve, Trump said he would have liked Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to take the job, but Bessent declined his overtures. The president said he would like to remove current Fed Chair Jerome Powell, whose term expires in May. Powell has not cut the Fed's benchmark interest rates as aggressively as Trump wants. The president believes inflation has been defeated, even though it's above the Fed's 2% target.
Who was the best president for Saudi Arabia? And you could maybe, it's an interesting answer. I don't know.
The Roosevelt who started it, which is a Democrat, and Reagan, he's one of the historical presidents that have close ties with Saudi Arabia. But we've worked with all presidents.
Does Trump blow them all away?
No, it's another league, Mr. President.
Mr. President?
And Trump doesn't give a fist pump. I grabbed that hand. I don't give a hell where that hand's been. I grabbed that hand. Remember Biden? He travels for 20 hours, gets out, and he gives a fist bump. No. When you get out of the plane and you got the future king and the man who's one of the most respected people in the world, you shake his hand. You don't give him a fist bump, right? We don't want to ask you about that, but I can't imagine you were thrilled. You were like a little bit surprised. He's a fantastic guy. You don't do that. Yeah, please.
We're getting closer to the end of the year. Have you started the interviews for the Fed chair?
Yes.
Who have you interviewed?
I think I already know my choice.
Who is it?
Well, I liked him, but he's not going to take the job. He refused. You like Treasury better, right?
Much better, sir.
So we are talking to various people, and frankly, I'd love to get the guy currently in there out right now. But people are holding me back. He's done a terrible job, hurting housing a little bit, and it's too bad. But despite that, it's having very little impact because we have all of these things happening. But it has an impact on housing to a certain extent. We have some surprising names, and we have some standard names that everybody's talking about. And we may go the standard way. It's nice to every once in a while go politically correct. But we have some great names. Steve, please. I don't know if that number's right, but it's pretty
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
It's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched, or somebody psychs you over at ABC, they're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. And I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me, but he gave money to Democrats. And people are wise to your hoax, and ABC's, your company, your crappy company, is one of the perpetrators. And I'll tell you something,
So why not just sign it now?
I think the license should be taken away from ABC, because your news is so fake, and it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that, because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump, and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible, and you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go, we can count on 600 billion, but that number could go up a little bit higher, yes, I don't know, we'll see. But we appreciate it very much.
You approved the export licenses for advanced chips to Saudi Arabia, the export licenses?
We are working on that. We're negotiating that right now. Marco, do you want to talk about that, or Scott?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of what we may have announcements on that later today. But that's what we've been working on is the mechanics by which something like that can be achieved. And it's part of the broader process, part of this broader engagement and cooperation between our two countries.
Certain levels of chips. Yeah.
And for the Crown Prince, Your Royal Highness, you're talking about $1 trillion of investment. Could the kingdom continue to do that with oil prices in the mid-60s?
Yeah, we are not creating fake opportunities to, please America, please President Trump. It's real opportunities. For example, when you ask about the AI and the chips, Saudi Arabia have a huge demand a huge need of computing power, and we're gonna spend in the short term around $50 billion by consuming those semiconductors for our needs in Saudi Arabia. And with the agreement that we're gonna have with South America, that will allow us to focus that consuming power in the short term by $50 billion from the South America, and long term with hundreds of billions of dollars in the long term. So there's a lot of real opportunities that fit to our need in Saudi Arabia and fit to our investment strategy.
Mr. President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the
But the
worst.
question is
One of the
legitimate,
worst
sir.
in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
It's okay, since you asked, Mr. President, you allow me to answer. I feel painful about families of 9/11 in America, but we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation. That's the purpose of 9/11. So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia, it's bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism. And we have to approve him wrong and to build our relation, continue developing our relation. It's critical in the safety of the world. It's critical against extremism and terrorism. about the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for, no real purpose or not in a legal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc. in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Mr. President, this time